Hi, good morning.
Oh,
And Cup of Soul Show. Nicola, I so love this for you. We finally have you out of those god-awful colors and into some beautiful gowns.
they did me
I was
dirty,
like,
girl.
yes, my girl has some good wigs. I'm like, because I think you're so
Yes.
pretty. And I'm like, finally, she's not sulking in the corner. Talk
I
about how
know.
much fun it is that, going to wardrobe and just having your character stand in her light.
Mm.
It's beautiful. Honestly, it was a very emotional experience. I think because, it's weird. People I think assume actors are all extroverts and love being the center of attention. I actually really don't. I know that sounds very silly, but it's nerve-wracking. I was super comfortable with playing the weirdo in the corner in the crazy yellow dress. I was like, I can do this, no problem. But to play someone who's dressed up in a pretty way, has pretty hair, has to stand and have everyone look at her, I definitely felt like way more nervous and insecure than I would doing anything else. But we have an incredible team behind us, like the most
Oh yeah.
amazing costume designers,
Hmm.
incredible wig makers that make them, knot them hair by hair, and
Yeah.
all of that kind of stuff. And I think our confidence, if I could speak for both of us, I think
Please,
really
yeah.
grew through this season
Yeah.
because you have a lot of self-doubt, but then as we were doing it, you're like, no, we're doing it. And I
Yeah.
think we're doing good.
Yeah,
And yeah.
and the response, on set, it just
Oh,
felt
crazy.
like,
Yeah, so cool.
Well, Luke, excited for you too, because we're like, hello, she's across
yeah,
the street. She doesn't want to be friends. Finally. And like, I read the books too. And even as I'm reading the
Ah,
books, and I'm like, Colin, hello,
yeah,
light on, please. And talk about that because there's a whole fan base that love
Mhm.
these books. And now, you're merging the book lovers with the people that love the series that are really rooting for these two characters because it's hard. She's, in the family kind of lost. He's kind of lost because his brothers have really these very strong personalities. So talk
Yeah,
about that you have a whole fan base that was like, yeah. And then you're like, oh my
yeah.
God, we got to live up to that.
Yeah, it really felt like the appropriate time for their love story to come, to the forefront. It felt like we got to a point at the end of season 2 where fans were ready for Colin to finally see what's been right in front of him all this time. And I think one of my favorite parts of this season is the dynamic shift between the two and the power changes. And suddenly, Penn spent 2 seasons in the corner longingly looking at Colin, and the tables have finally turned, and we get Colin has his fair share of solemn moments staring across the dance floor. So yeah, it was fun to like flip that completely and play a brand new version. And in terms of the books, it's really like one of our favorite parts of this season is the scenes that have come directly from the books, and Jess Brownell, our showrunner, has so carefully incorporated them into the series, and it really gave us a different energy on set. It really felt like a special day when we got to shoot a scene that was like taken out of the books and meant a lot, meant so much to books of fans of the book that will now get to see it live on screen. So yeah.
Absolutely. Love this for both of you, especially for you, Nicole. I've been a big fan since Derry Girls, and I
oh,
think you
thank you.
deserve. So I think it's wonderful to see you in this role standing in your light. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
That's so kind. Lovely to speak to you. Thank
Hi, Katya Woods, Cup of Soul Show. Hi, ladies. How are you?
Thank you. How are you?
Good, good. Let's start with you, Hannah. I want you to be happy. I want you to not be under duress. And Eloise is always in the middle of the craziness. So talk a little bit about that. We want Eloise to strive. How can we get our girl out of it? But also talk about how much fun it is to be the one Bridgerton that doesn't want to be in the middle of the mess, but somehow always is.
It's great fun for me as an actor to play someone who's constantly in the middle of the chaos. I like that. But also I don't. Sometimes it's hard to think that it's. I guess it seems wild because of the backdrop. But really, I think a lot of the young women in the show and a lot of the men in the show, like including like Benedict Bridgerton, are trying to find ways of taking a step forward in life in their own way. I just think Eloise is just very vocal about hers. I think that's the difference. But I do really appreciate that Eloise feels very close to the audience, and I really love that people can connect to her in that way. And yeah, for me, it's a pleasure to play Eloise.
Absolutely. And Claudia and Jessica, you guys are like a little bit opposite sides of the coin. One of you is very liberated, and the other one is so confined by, you know, her parents and the expectations. And I think she's a mean girl because that's her defense mechanism. Talk about what it's like to play these women that are really like, you know, they're in these gowns and everything, but they're screaming to be like, see me for me, but you can't be you because society doesn't say it's okay. Let's start with you, Claudia.
Well, I think Eloise is a very privileged young woman. She comes from an incredibly supportive, nurturing and warm background. She's got no money concerns. You know, like these are huge things in day-to-day life that can bring stress. So I think she has this freedom within her household to really vocalize her feelings and how she thinks. And she's got a very close connection with Benedict, who really supports her in that as well. But I do think I just think she wants the choice. I just think she wants the freedom to be able to decide in her own time how she wants autonomy. But yeah, that's a very different situation than Jessica.
And equally has a privileged life in terms of what we would see on the paper, the money, the house, but her family life and her connection with her parents is a very different matter, which we get to see this year. And I don't think she's ever really had the opportunity to think of what she wants necessarily as what her parents want for her, and her going out looking for that and trying her hardest to get what they would like. So she's learning a little bit more, and I do think Eloise brings her a lot of that as to questioning what it is that she wants, and she takes her power in a different way as we come along, but she does start to think about what she can do with the situation she's in, and has to navigate her way through that. So she does get there, but after the pressure becomes unbearable and she's pretty limited.
Absolutely. Like, I love this season. I love these books, and they're really great escapism. And I can't wait for the community to be able to see how much of the book they've taken, but at the same time, the series has put their own spin on it. And I'm fingers crossed, Eloise finds love.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
Bye.